Hi, and welcome to the Ecotopia Investigator blog. So, today we're going to be focusing on marine conservation. So, marine conservation is, if you don't know, the process of studying the oceans, what's going on, is it healthy? If it's not, how can we fix it? So, that includes looking at some of the stressors, natural and man made, and then finding solutions to keep our ecosystem stable, healthy, and prosperous. So, I'm coming to you here from Santa Monica Beach, where it's kind of a perfect place to be talking about marine conservation. This is one of the beaches that have been known to be affected by pollution, and yet it is our most accessible beach for any Los Angelian. And we are a beach loving people, so this is a perfect place to be focusing on how to save the ocean. So, this blog is about what's happening that's awesome. We know there's a lot of terrible stuff happening that's affecting the ocean and our entire ecosystem. But we want to focus on what's good, what's positive, what's happening that it's changing the tide, if you will, of pollution and eco sustainability. And what's exciting about that, what's new about that. So, today we're going to be talking about reef restoration. So, the coral reefs are one of the most substantial parts of the ocean ecosystem. And what we have is an epidemic on the planet of reefs dying. So, anyone who's watched Finding Nemo probably understands is that there is a very, very diverse micro ecosystem. The fish, the anemones, all of that live off of the coral. So, apart from that ecosystem depending on the reef, there's also the matter of oxygen. So, any living plant life in the ocean, seaweed is a big one. It's also creating our oxygen source in the planet. So, it's not just coming from trees on the ground, but it's also coming from plant life in the ocean. So, again, it's really, really huge, big deal. So, what we've seen over the planet, literally globally, is the dying reefs due to some natural stressors, but very dominantly human impact. So, if you actually would like to get a little bit more information about this, definitely read the blog. We're not going to get into all of the details in the blog. We just want to give you a kind of rough idea of what we're getting into. So, if you do want to know more, it's right there. And if you just have a little bit of time, then you can at least get a little bit of insight. So, what's new and exciting in reef restoration is coral farming. So, this is not a new technique, it's been around for some time. What's new and exciting is that now it's becoming privatized. So, again, you can see more information in the blog, and we'll share some information about some of the companies that are doing that and get a little bit more into detail about why privatizing the efforts is such a big deal and such a positive step forward. So first I'm going to just give you a little understanding of what coral farming is. So coral farming is where you take a particle of healthy living coral, and you can also take some of the larvae from the reef. You take that and you grow it on land in coral farms. So that's where they create micro ecosystems in a fish tank. So that doesn't mean all the fish and seaweed and everything else that's in the ecosystem, but conditions. So the right temperature, the right type of water, and it just works like any other type of farming. You take the seed, and in this case, it would be a small particle of um, coral, the larvae. You put it into the right conditions, and you feed it, you let it grow. So it is like a nursery in the sense that it's a protected space where the coral then is able to develop and grow. Once the coral has developed and grown to a certain maturity and is strong enough to then start to um, thrive in the true ecosystem where there are a lot of stressors and there are a lot of variables and factors to fight against in order to be strong and continue to grow. Once they've reached that level, they will transplant these coral from their nursery into the reef. So it's a really beautiful process. Again, I really hope that you go ahead and look at the blog because we get into a lot more detail there. And once they've planted the coral from the nursery, hopefully everything goes right where they aren't overwhelmed by those stressors and they're able to grow and prosper into a full thriving coral ecosystem again. It's a really beautiful process, and to me personally, it is kind of like the dove with the leaf in its mouth. It's just a beautiful symbol of progress and what's possible. We have the technology, we have the ability, we certainly have the need, and so it's really uplifting to my spirit, and I hope you guys as well to see that not only is this possible, it's happening, and the more awareness that we can create around it, the better it is for all of us. So while most of us are not going to be hands-on learning how to do farm coral or doing the transplanting, many of us will likely be snorkeling in these reefs and appreciating it that way. And if you've ever done that or if you've ever wanted to do that, please understand that it takes all of us being active in this eco revolution to make that happen for us in our generation and for the following generations as well. So again, please do check out the blog. We have a lot of beautiful information in there that goes a little bit more into depth so you can understand how big of an issue this is and how big of a miracle it is that we have found these really productive um, technologies that we can use and are using and can do so much more with the support of the people. Thank you guys, and we'll see you next time for our next Eco Warrior vlog.